If you're looking for a way to use up some of your pesky grocery bags, why not make some rope or cording? It's faster than you think and really simple once you learn a few tricks. To make this plastic bag rope or twine, you need 3 things: your plastic bag, a pair of scissors, and a crochet hook. You can make this rope in several different sizes, which I'll show you in a minute, but the basics are always the same. So you want to flatten out your grocery bag so that you can trim the bottom and the handles off. And once that's done, you want to open the bag up so that the little gussets aren't in there. And the easiest way to cut the bags is to fold the bag. So I've got the folded edge here, and I'm going to fold it towards the other folded side. And I usually fold it 4 times. So I don't have a very large section to cut. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. And take my scissors and cut the piece in half. And then fold each piece in half again. So for this size, I'm going to end up with 8 pieces of plastic. And these are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches wide. It's not exact, but as long as they're similar in width, you should be fine and get a fairly uniform piece of twine or rope. So once I have my 8 pieces cut, I'm going to go ahead and open up one of the pieces. And you can see that I just have a big loop here. So next I want to take my crochet hook and I'm going to put it through one end of the bag, and then I'm going to loop it through the other end so that I have sort of a double loop. And then I want to take this outside piece and I'm going to twist it while I'm holding the middle of the bag here, and I'm just going to twist it in toward the center. And as I'm twisting it, I'm going to pull it and tighten it. And what you want is a fairly uniform twist. So you can see that right here, it's a little looser. And when I give it some slack, it's just hanging straight. So I want to go ahead and put a few more twists into it, and I want to try to get them in these more loose places. So I can kind of tighten up here and kind of try to get that spot out. And then I want to try to tighten this spot as well. So you want a really tight twist, but you don't want to put so many twists into it that it starts to coil back up when you give it some slack. So I've got about 30 to 35 twists onto this half of my plastic bag loop. And now I want to flip my crochet hook over, and I'm just going to repeat the process, twisting this loose piece the 30 or 35 times. So I usually twist it a few times and then tighten it and just try to see where my looser sections are. Sometimes you can pull them out and smooth them just by stretching it, and sometimes you need to add a little bit of twist. So the next thing I want to do is, I've been twisting everything inward toward the center of my plastic bag loop here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch back, slide my loops down to the crochet end, and I'm going to twist back, and instead of twisting inward this time, I'm going to twist outward. And I want to hold this center tightly, but I also want there to be some twist in it. So I'm going to just barely hold on to it. And generally speaking, you're going to have less twists when you're doing your outside twist than the inside twist. So for this particular size, I do 30 twists going inside on each half of the bag, and then when I'm twisting to the outside I do about 20. So I've got 10 on here. I'm going to do 10 more, and then I'm going to stretch it and tighten it, and hopefully I have a fairly smooth piece of twisted plastic bag. Now it is going to unwind a little bit, but it should hold the twist fairly well. So I'm ready to add a second piece, and to do that, this is where you really need the crochet hook, because you're going to pull this bag loop through the loops here. So I'm just going to hook the plastic bag onto the crochet hook, and then I'm going to pull it through the existing loops. I'm going to find the center by hooking both of the ends onto my crochet hook, and then I'm ready just to carry on. So I'm going to twist inward 30 times, tightening it as I go. Then I'm going to turn the crochet hook over. So I'm still spinning the crochet hook toward me and in toward the center. And then I'm going to slide both of the loops back toward the hook end of my crochet hook. And I'm going to twist the crochet hook outward, away from me instead of toward me. Now I'm holding my loop really tightly here, but I do want to back off just a little bit so that I will get twist in this loop, because the weak points will be in your connection. So you want to make sure there's plenty of twist in this end part too. So I've got 10 twists on so far. I'm going to slide my fingers back away from the loop here a little bit and let some twist go into this end of the new piece that I just added. And I'm going to give it a tug, and you can see that loop, you can still see the loop, but it is got a nice twist in it now, and it should be a stronger connection. So you're ready to add the next piece, and you can just carry on until you have the length that you want. So you can make this rope in many different sizes, and these are just the 4 sizes that I came up with based on the crochet hook sizes that I had. Generally speaking, you want to use the smallest crochet hook that you can to still accommodate the amount of plastic bag that you're using. So I was going to try to do a rope with a full loop of plastic bag, but my crochet hook was just a little small for that. So the largest size that I made was cutting a bag in half. So the loop width is about 6.5 inches. And I used a size 10.5 or K sized crochet hook. And one other thing about making this rope is that depending on the size of the rope, you will be putting more twist in the smaller sizes and less twist in the larger sizes. So this size rope was 15 by 11 for the twist that I put into it. So that means that I twisted the two halves 15 times inward, and then to twist them together, I twisted 11 times. So this is the next size down of rope that I made, and I cut the bags into quarter size pieces, which is about 3¼ inches wide. For this size, I used an I-sized crochet hook, and the twist was 22 by 16. This is the size that I demonstrated for you. So this bag size is cut into 8 strips that are about 1.5 to 2 inches wide. And for this, I used the size 5 or F size crochet hook, and the twist was 30 by 20. This is about the smallest I think you probably want to go, because you can break this size pretty easily when you're twisting it. But this bag size was cut into 16 strips, and I used a size 00 crochet hook, and the twist was 45 by 30. So I thought I would do a little very unscientific testing here, but I had a question from a user, Nate K, who asked, how strong is this plastic rope? Now I think it's fairly obvious that the thicker or heavier that you make it, the stronger it will be. But I thought it would be fun to test out my sample pieces and see how much weight they could hold. So I'm going to start with my smallest piece of rope here, and I have a 2.5 pound weight. So we're just going to loop it through here, and then see if it holds, which it's holding. I marked a 3-inch section of my twine here just to see how much stretch happened in this rope. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hold it still enough to actually measure it, but that's why I have the tape measure here. So it hasn't stretched a ton. It still is measuring pretty close to 3 inches. So I thought it would stretch quite a bit. All right, let's see if it can hold another 2.5 pounds. So I've got 5 pounds on here now. And this is with the piece of bag that was cut into 16 strips. It's putting another 2.5 pounds on here. So we're at 7.5, if I'm doing the math correctly. Oh, and that broke it. So this thinner stuff can hold about 5 pounds of weight, just in a very unscientific method. So I'm going to go to my next size up, and we'll just start with 5 pounds, because it seems to make sense that it would hold at least that much, which it does. And again, it's not stretching that much. I guess because you're twisting it when you're stretching it when you twist it, so maybe it's already stretched as much as it's going to. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2.5 more pounds on here, so that's 10. Taxing my math skills. All right. So I've got 10 pounds on here. I can't see. I think it is stretching a tiny bit, but so it may be about to give out. I think we're gonna lose it now. It's stretching so much, it's definitely gonna break. I can't even lift it up. So now we're gonna go to our quarter size pieces. So 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 22.5 pounds. I can't even hold it, it's slipping out of my hand. All right, I've got 25 pounds. 27.5. I've got 30 on here and I can kind of feel where this is degraded, so I think we're going to lose it on this one. And so now this is the half bag. And I'm going to go ahead and do it 10 at a time. 20 pounds, 25 pounds, and 30 pounds. So in conclusion, you can make this rope in many different sizes, and according to my very unscientific testing, once you do start to get some stretch or pull in the rope, you should probably decrease the weight that you have on it because the rope is starting to degrade and fail at that point. If you'd like to see some of the projects that I've made using this twine, or if you're interested in learning how to make fabric from plastic bags, click one of the links below. You can check the description box for a place to sign up to receive the Upcycle Design Lab newsletter. And if you haven't already, I'd love to have you click that subscribe button and join my YouTube community. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you back here soon in the lab for my next experiment.